Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hey, I'm Kevin.
And I am Eric.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look back at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre. And we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down to the bottom, my friend. All the way down. We're back.
Yeah, I am excited. I love this movie. I love this section of the movie, so I'm very excited.
I am just like rolling on Kevin's excitement more than anything else because, I mean, as we've established at this point, I am like, I'm rediscovering this movie for the first time.
We're back with more Iron Eagle shit. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks to all of our listeners on the Last of the Action Heroes podcast network, where we love to be a part of it.
Love it.
Check us out on Instagram. If you do Instagram or Facebook, if you do Facebook,
We
we're
post
at,
dumb memes from time to time.
Yeah, we're at 6DOS Podcast. Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
Tell your friends to listen. We want to build a community of people who love this
Oh my
type
God.
of shit.
And also like drinking while they watch these types of
Yeah,
movies.
man.
We're 3 episodes in.
I got
We're
a
pretty
fre-
warm.
I got myself a fresh drink in
That's
front of
right.
me here.
I'm still enjoying my soju. I'm not rushing my way through it.
So yeah, so we've alluded to before. This is a strange movie, sort of produced with the cooperation and help of the Israeli government and military.
Yep.
After the American military said no, thank you. I feel like the Israeli government's like miscellaneous Arab bad guys. We're in.
We're in. 100%.
Yeah, sign us up.
Sign me up. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you want to try to bring us up to speed on what's happening
I
here?
will do my best. So Colonel Ted Masters is flying over the Mediterranean somewhere, he and his wingman. He is shot down and kidnapped by generic country number 347.
Mhm.
Doug Masters.
Yeah, it was Durkistan.
It was Turkestan, yeah.
Durka Muhammad Jihad.
Gotta love the Team America World Police references. So his son Doug is just about to graduate. He has a bunch of buddies who are part of the Eagles group, which is a bunch of kids who are just children of the base, this Air Force base.
You're right.
Turns out that Ted Masters was Doug's dad. He's been captured. He's put on trial. He's found guilty. Through all of this, like Doug has gone through a race called the Snake. He goes into a flight simulator.
That feels like 100 years ago.
100 years ago now. I know it's like
so much. The whole
oh my God,
world's changed.
So much has happened. He meets Colonel Chappie, who tells Doug, like, look, the best thing you can do is just be happy with your family for your dad.
Because Doug is like, no, I could go rescue him.
I can go rescue him, right?
Yeah.
But Chappie's like, no, don't do this. But Doug has had enough. He graduates, has a flashback remembering flying with his dad and how good it was. And after graduation, discovers that his dad is going to be hung in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
3 days. So that night, he tells his brother, go get all the Eagles together. We're going to meet up at 7 a.m. We're going to win this thing.
I got a plan.
And now we're here.
Yeah, man. Awesome work. Now, meanwhile, in North Africa, we think they're in Libya. That's what we're sort of at.
Yeah, I think that's
but
what
they
we
never
landed
say
on.
that.
They never say it.
But yeah, we're in North Africa. Colonel Nikesh, that's the bad guy, is climbing out of a fighter jet. So we see that he flies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we said, we think he's the guy who shot Doug's dad down earlier.
Correct. That's what I think.
That's never made clear, but we think that's correct. So he hops in a Jeep. He's driven to the prison to see Colonel Masters. He wakes him up and is demanding to know why Masters won't sign a confession. It was a dick move. He like slammed the lock or whatever, like woke him up when he was sleeping. Like, and also I'm like, what kind of jail is it where the cell is like secured with a padlock?
I know.
It was just like a padlock, like your
in,
garden shed or
only
something.
Only in a generic Middle Eastern country could this happen.
Yeah, I guess so. But Nikesh, she says, I understand that you have a sense of duty, but the people above me do not understand. And, if you don't sign this confession, we can make things a whole lot worse for you.
Mm-hmm.
So Masters tells him, why don't you bring your beloved leader around and I'll shove a confession up his ass. Which the beloved leader tease was strange because it never leads anywhere.
No, it never goes anywhere. We don't see the beloved leader.
If this is Libya, I guess they're talking about Gaddafi,
Yeah,
but
I guess
whatever.
so,
I don't know. But back at Beecher Air Base, the Eagles have assembled. It's Doug, his little brother, Reggie and Tony and Milo are there, and some other new faces that we've seen. There's
So this is, so the building, the exterior of the shot, and I'm not a military expert. I'm literally taking this information from Captain America Winter Soldier.
okay.
Full disclosure. But in Captain America Winter Soldier, the secret entrance into where, like all the crazy beginnings of S.H.I.E.L.D. was, and then the evil robot AI guy, the exterior of the building was exactly the same as the exterior of the building. And according to that movie, that's the front of a munitions stronghold.
Yeah, I imagine it's like an old abandoned like arsenal or something.
Right, exactly. So I guess they've set up shop in an old abandoned arsenal. And I don't know, I just thought that was cool. Right,
it is a cool looking building.
It's a cool looking building, and the inside, the production design was fun.
Dude, I was loving that. Like, it was dope as hell. Like, there was fucking beanbag chairs as far as the eye can see.
I want to fucking hang out of that place.
Absolutely,
Are you kidding
man.
me? Forget about it.
But yeah, we got some other people in there. There's like a couple of teen girls, sort of a husky kid, So Doug is saying basically that working together, we've always been able to get everything we need for our classes and our air shows. Fucking what?
All right.
Now we need to work together to save my dad. But like fucking air shows? I mean, can you imagine how much it would cost to insure a teen to fly a plane?
No, I don't. It's not. Mm-mm.
But he busts out this list. He's like, there's a list of everything we're going to need. So cuts to Milo. He's offering to run some documents to another office worker for his dad, which I presume are like fucking classified sensitive materials,
Yeah, and he's got just a visitor badge on.
Right.
Like, he is not working in any
Want me to run those
capacity.
classified documents, Dad? But anyway, once he's gone over to this other worker, he sabotages her computer with like one deft keystroke.
I paused the movie. I was laughing so hard. I love the idea that computers have a computer crash button on the keyboard.
Milo is like confirming that he's the real MVP here.
Yeah, always.
So the woman, she wigs out. Milo's like, I'll call IT to come down here and fix it if you want to go to another terminal.
Yeah.
So you can keep working or whatever. And once she's gone, they cue in, we're not going to take it
by Twisted Sister. Fuck yeah, dog.
It's montage time.
Hell yeah.
Because to show it all would take too long. Yeah. Fucking perfect use of this song.
Oh,
though.
I know.
Awesome,
dude,
man.
when it came on, I got my notes like, fuck yeah, little Twisted Sister. Yeah.
And I feel like this was the part of the movie, I think, that made the U.S. Air Force balk. And
Yes.
we don't want to cooperate with a movie that's like showing a bunch of teens hacking the Air Force. Like, no, thank you. We object to this premise.
Yeah, right. Completely.
Yeah. So Milo gets in her computer, starts pulling up intelligence reports from the Middle Eastern bloc or whatever. Kid's a full-on fucking hacker.
Straight up. With those glasses, how could he not be?
Now, meanwhile, Tony is sneaking Doug into like a restricted area on the base by like insinuating to the guard that his sister will fuck him if you let him like look at the weapons arsenal or whatever.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That was a hilarious scene for Jerry Levine, and the guard cracking up too. He's like, "Was she really talking about me?" He's like, "I heard her tell Mom that she's pretty upset that you don't call her more often." It was fucking hilarious to me. So then elsewhere we got the two teen girls who I think are meant to be sisters.
I guess so. It wasn't clear to me.
They didn't really look alike, but they were going to see someone who was one or both of their dads, right? Who seems to work in like aerial reconnaissance or whatever. They ask him about getting some aerial photos for their room.
Right. It's like, why are you asking about this now?
Right. But they got it covered. I was cracking up at like the dark room or whatever that was in the background was like the fucking red sun of Krypton.
Yeah.
Like it was glowing bright red light through the windows or whatever.
There was so many weird ass things going on in this scene. My favorite part is when one of the girls clearly like aggressively spills the drink on
She
her dad.
threw the drink on him.
Threw it at him. It was like, I didn't mean to. It was like, no one believes this.
I didn't mean to. That shit made me laugh out loud.
Oh my God. I was dying in that moment.
But yeah, he's like, I got to go get cleaned up. So you guys just go in there, whatever, get whatever pictures you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, elsewhere, there's a hangar where fighter jets are being serviced or whatever and prepped for flight. The Husky Eagle, he's distracting his Husky dad with like sweet treats with the cheap jokes.
Yeah.
Like, how can we accentuate the fact that they're fat?
Right.
He's like,
right.
what if he loves cookies? It's like, but all of a sudden there's a commotion outside, like an eruption of what sounds like gunfire. We see that the mechanics are like scattering everywhere.
God.
Reggie and Tony are setting off firecrackers. It's like the old let's fake an active shooter situation gag.
Took me out of the movie so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, this
The world has changed a lot, I think, since '86.
I think it is. Like I don't think I could put myself in the position of when this movie was being made. Because like I'm just sitting there going, if you lit off firecrackers like this in a hangar like that,
yeah.
I mean, you're dead. You're not. There's no arrest. They're just gonna kill you.
Right.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah. So I thought it was crazy. So Tony's dressed like a mechanic, and Reggie is like in this fucking looks like a high-ranking officer's uniform.
I don't know.
I feel like that's probably his dad's shit.
Oh,
like,
maybe.
That was the only thing I could think. But he's also like, it's just this big ill-fitting. It was kind of weird. But so the Husky kid's dad, he runs out to go see what's going on. The Husky kid hops on dad's computer. Then Milo comes running in. They start going through the flight scheduling and weapons packages for F-16s.
And he like makes random like, oh, it's this number, and it like, oh, this number, and it brings up a whole like every piece of information you could possibly want. Yeah.
The Husky kid who's like pounding a Diet Pepsi like he fucking had just run a marathon or some shit. And I love Milo. Gave us the quintessential the hacker. We're in.
Once again, Milo proves that he is the most important character in this movie.
Nothing makes me happier than when a hacker in a movie says we're in.
We're in.
So good. Well, later on, Doug is pulling up to Chappie's shitty little double wide trailer that he lives in next to the airstrip. He kind of living like Martin Riggs in Lethal Weapon.
In Lethal Weapon, yeah, straight up.
How did Doug even find his house?
Not a clue. I mean, he knows everything on the base, though.
Yeah.
This one I didn't even question. Like
he could have probably gone to the hangar and said, "Where's that mechanic? Where's the Chappie guy? Where's his where's he live?"
Right.
He's like, "Oh yeah, he's across the street in the
he's
shitty trailer."
Literally there.
Right.
He
So
points to the trailer.
Doug's just got like bags and bags of information that the Eagles have managed to gather up. He knocks on the door. Chappie answers. He tells Chappie that he's sorry for what he said earlier. He's come to ask him for help one more time. Chappie reluctantly opens the door. He's got a sandwich in his hand. I was trying so hard to see if I could tell what kind of sandwich he was holding. I think it might have been like a hamburger. I want to know more about Chappie's lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that he's wearing that same hat, like little Pennzoil trucker hat that he's been wearing throughout when he's like, he's living his life, man. He's living large.
Little do you know that sandwich, it was like Kobe beef, arugula, like a spicy aioli.
Okay.
Like the man is a fucking 2-star.
He's a gourmand.
Michelin chef, right? He moonlights as a ace military pilot.
But so Doug starts rattling through all the intelligence that he's gathered up, everything that you would need to stage a rescue attempt. Chappie's got the poker face on, and Doug's like, Jesus, Chappie's only got, and that's where Chappie cuts in. He's like, 3 days. He's like, 3 days. If you keep on talking, you're going to waste one of them. So we knew Chappie would come around, obviously, right? He's the fucking Mr. Miyagi. He's the Mr. Miyagi of the movie.
Right.
Chappie tells Doug, grab that shit and follow me. The movie really has the same like story beats as Karate Kid, honestly. Like, because that Karate Kid, I think, is like an hour in before Miyagi agrees to train.
Yeah.
Daniel-san, I feel like, and we're like deep in the movie before finally Chappie's like gonna help him. So Chappie leads Doug to this massive garage where he's got a bunch of maps and shit laid out already. Chappie says he's been working on this since he heard about that death sentence.
And so this is
So he was up all night, I presume.
Yeah, and this confused me a little bit because, like, in the previous scene, he only refers to Doug's dad like, oh, I've heard of him. Like
Yeah.
he didn't really feel like he has any connection to him.
I'm kind of curious, how did he even hear about? I don't know if it's on the news, because I would have thought like, okay, yeah, they tell the family obviously,
Yeah,
but it's probably
yeah. They're
something
probably
that's
trying
kept quiet.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to keep this on the DL.
But
right
I don't know if
now.
people gossip. I know they're not supposed to, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
humans are humans. Maybe he
Yeah.
heard through the grapevine what happened, or maybe it's all over ABC News or some
Maybe
shit.
it is. Anyway, he knows.
Yeah, right. So Doug asks him if he thinks he could plan a rescue mission. Chappie says he'd like to try. So he says, yeah, something about maniacs messing with good men always pisses me off, which I like that line. The Chappie tells Doug he's going to need all the intelligence info that he's got. He walks over to the jukebox and fires up James Brown. There Was a Time was the
Yep.
song. He went full fucking Fonzie mode,
Oh
like
my
he just
God.
sort of kicked it and it started playing.
Again, this movie just does not know where it stands tonally, right?
Mhm.
We establish, everybody knows that, Colonel Masters has got 3 days to die. They're under the gun trying to plan this. And so what
Fire
does
up some
Chappie do?
jaunty, like
Right, and he like fucking shakes his ass and like dances
Yes.
around while he's starting to look at all this nonsense. It was fucking crazy.
It was weird. It was
It
weird.
was so weird.
Also, what was weird is this same song was playing like softly in the background when Chappie was fucking with Doug's plane earlier.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, how? So it sort of makes sense with Doug because he's taking his tapes everywhere,
Yeah.
right? But I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
how this works unless this garage where they're at now is like right next to where he was messing with Doug's plane, and it was literally that same jukebox.
It might have
Because I
been.
mean, we're talking about like probably a little 45
Yeah.
record, you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's in the jukebox, whatever. But or maybe he loves the song so much that he's just got it to rig to play wherever he's at.
He's got like a little speaker on
Yeah.
his hip. Yeah.
But this movie was the king of using songs multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Like almost all the songs
All the songs.
go it. Anyway, he busts.
It's called economics, Kevin.
Yeah. We don't have to pay for it twice.
You only have
We
to pay
just
for
use
it
it, yeah.
once. Yeah.
So he busts open Doug's stash of intelligence. He goes to work. Doug is watching an amusement. Yeah, this Chappie's like shimmying and strutting around in there. I feel like what we're supposed to get right here is they're kindred spirits, right? Like
Yeah.
they might not listen to the same music, but they're the same type of
It's the
person.
same type of person.
Yeah.
I agree.
So anyway, some time passes. Chappie's worked up a detailed picture of the situation over there, it seems like, but he's sort of hit a wall maybe. So he's asked Doug if he's got a tennis shoes, tells him, grab that shit and follow me. So cut to, we're jogging through the desert.
It was so weird.
That would be brutal.
That would be impossible.
The school year's just ended, so it's probably like May or June.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, damn, in the middle of the fucking Mojave Desert
Oh
or
my
some shit.
God. And Doug's like carrying all of these like loose papers. It
long,
feels like
dungarees.
yeah.
So Chappie is peppering Doug with questions, and Doug is trailing behind trying to find the answers in all this armfuls of printouts that he's got. Later
He's
on,
like, so while this is happening,
Uh-huh.
sorry, I don't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no.
It just reminded me of my notes. So they're running through, and and like Doug tries to say something, and Chappie cuts him off and says, "How many times do I have to tell you not to interrupt me while I'm thinking?" I'm like, I don't know. This is the first time I'm hearing of this. Like, you need to do a better job of explaining these things to me.
it's weird. So later on, Doug is now waiting around outside like the steamy bathroom while Chappie's taking a shower.
Yeah, I know.
That was an odd dynamic.
Weirder. I know.
Here, hang out while I'm going to shower real quick.
Oh my
kid.
God.
So, but Chappie steps out. He suggests they should go get dinner so Doug can eat while he reads or whatever, or read while he eats. I don't know. But now, cut to Slappy's Italian with Soul restaurant. This like bluesy, jazzy,
Yeah.
entirely black Italian restaurant.
I want to eat at that place
Absolutely.
so bad. I want to know what that food is.
The place was wild, man.
Dude.
The waitresses were dressed like it was the 50s or
Yeah.
something. They were wearing fucking poodle skirts.
But the lighting was like it was a strip club.
Absolutely. I did like that all the background extras were like mostly black airmen, like dudes in uniform. And I feel like it establishes this is like a spot near the base where the
Yeah.
black servicemen like to hang out or whatever. It's
Yeah.
cool to me.
No, it was a great thought. Yeah.
When I was watching the movie with Kyle from like Conan the Destroyer and Masters of the Universe fame, he pointed out like this movie's got a lot more black characters than most movies in this sort of wheelhouse of like the 80s pop sort of movies.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I never thought about it before, but yeah, it's got like Chappie's a main character.
Yeah.
his friend, he's got a black, like, good buddy. And like, we got a whole scene where there's one white character in it, But Chappie is introducing Doug to Slappy, none other than Chino Fats Williams himself.
Oh, when Fats showed up, I'm like, oh, we already did Action Jackson.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Bringing it on back.
Last scene in Action Jackson, he was in The Terminator, he was in Roadhouse, and so many other movies. But he and Chappie and Slappy, they're busting each other's balls a little bit. Then Slappy is like, glad to see you come around, brother, and contribute to my retirement. And you brought a white boy with you.
Like, what does that mean?
I don't know, but it made me laugh, man. That line kills me every time. You brought a white boy with you. I like the acknowledgement of like the racial sort of dynamic, But so Chappie tells Slappy, okay, make yourself scarce because we got to talk here. Now, Chappie is using the food on the table to sort of lay out the scenario about how the one plane could assault the compound where his dad's at. And then while a second plane sneaks in as backup, and Doug is shocked because he's whatever, that he's planning to have more than one plane.
Yeah.
More shocked when he hears Chappie's going to fly it. And then Chappie's like, what's the matter? Are you prejudiced or something? Which I love the chemistry between these two, like the banter back and forth and giving each other a hard time. I feel like felt really authentic to me.
Yeah. I will say, though, the shot was awful.
Yeah.
Because Chappie is like making all these moves on this plate of food, and it is just barely on screen. Oh, well, okay. So we need to pause for a second.
Okay.
We need to address the elephant in the room that actually no one knew it was here until I'm saying it right now. I watched this movie in 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yes.
Instead of widescreen.
I feel like that's the way it's meant to be viewed. This particular movie,
So I might be speaking a little bit out of turn here.
Okay.
On the 4:3 aspect ratio of this movie,
You couldn't see shit.
You couldn't see shit. Chappie is like making all
I don't
these
think
moves.
no, none of it made sense. It didn't
Okay,
matter. It's
all
just
right.
they probably were like, maybe we'll go back with second unit and like shoot inserts.
Okay.
Who
All right.
knows? But yeah, it's just a big plate of food.
It was
He's
a
like,
big plate of food.
Watch out for this pepperoni here and stuff like that.
And then he eats the pepperoni. I'm like,
Yeah, sure, okay.
I don't know what's going on right now. Yeah.
But
All
so Doug wants to know, though, why Chappie is willing to fly this mission. Chappie says that Doug's dad had earned his respect and he's going to do a lot for people he respects. And then Chappie tells the story of how he had met Doug's dad before. So he said, I was going to have a session on the simulator. I'd forgotten my ID card. I showed up late. There was like, I guess, a racist guy running the simulator. And some other pilots thought that it was all funny, that they were going to like fucking call security on him and shit like that. Doug says, you must have wanted to kick their ass. And Chappie's like, yeah, I did.
I did, yeah. I'm like, why wouldn't I?
But just then, Doug's dad showed up, a total stranger to him, asked what's going on here. They told him, hey, we got this black guy with no ID. He's trying to get on the simulator. And Doug's dad looked Chappie up and down, snapped him a salute, called him Colonel, apologized for the inconvenience, said they'd get him sorted out right away. And he said, Doug's dad understands a lot about a man's dignity. And that's, I won't let him die in a cage. And I'm like, I love that story.
It was a great moment.
And it was quick.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's the power of Louis Gossett Jr. as an actor, that he can convey a lot in a 30-second scene,
Yeah.
And it explains everything you need to know about Chappie.
Yeah. 100%.
Like he's a like, am loyal to someone I've never met before because he treated me with dignity.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I appreciate, and again, it's a little bit frustrating that everybody's rank in this movie is Colonel.
Yeah, they really are. Everyone's a colonel.
So it is somewhat like diluted, but the idea that Colonel Masters could recognize another colonel just by looking at his posture and everything, and he looked past beyond the immutable facets of his birth and saw like the man underneath.
Right.
Like, it's a great moment.
It
right?
is. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. So Doug then says, he won't be sitting in a cage for long, so we're going to bust him out.
Bust him out.
And Chappie's like, well, all we got so far is a plan. Like, I still need to see if you can actually, like, get me the planes you say you can.
Yeah.
And you got to prove to me you can fly this mission. So Doug assures him, we can do all of it. Chappie says, okay, here's what I want. I want 2 fully loaded F-16s with approved flight plans under phony names, sitting on the runway first thing in the morning, right? And I was thinking to myself, like, could it be that simple? Like, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I could see the bureaucracy being that deep that it's like different departments handling different aspects of this and no one's in communication with each other, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I get that.
Whatever. Like, one hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing. Like, oh, yeah, all we do is put the missiles on the plane. We don't. And then one plane, all we do is file the flight plan. We don't pay attention to if these pilots' names, like, actually exist or not.
It's actually probably pretty close to reality.
It could be.
Yeah.
It really could be.
Yeah.
Chappie says he wants another F-16 with live ammunition armed for a target training so Doug can put your money where your mouth is, basically. So Doug is like, I can't believe that you still doubt that I can really fly. And Chappie's like, well, if I don't like what I see out of you tomorrow, we're not going anywhere. And I would say, like, having presumably never fired live shots before, Doug is overconfident.
Super overconfident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back in North Africa,
more just arbitrary tonal shifts in this movie.
Yeah, but they're giving us constant updates on what's going on, I guess. I don't know. So back in North Africa, Colonel Masters, he's being beaten up and tortured, whatever. They're building a gallows outside.
The one guy, the single guy hammering.
Colonel Nikesh, he tells Masters, this would be a lot easier if you would sign this confession, but we can proceed without it. And then he says, I must say, I admire the way you can handle pain. I'm looking forward to seeing you handle death. Ooh. Nikesh is like just always a fountain of like blustery threats, you know, like weird idle threats. It gets really overkill later on. But now, bright and early the next morning back in the States, Chappie is checking out the 2 fully loaded F-16s that are sitting there. He says to Doug, good thing Milo's on our side.
Damn fucking straight.
Yeah.
100%.
So Chappie, he then says to this guy who's working the runway, I'm here for the training flight. The guy says his name's not on the list, but let me make a call to my boss and check it out. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Chappie is like quickly sort of backpedaling. No, you don't need to do that. But the dude gets on the radio. Now a Jeep pulls up with some more dudes hop out. The boss type guy is talking about like, I got orders to take these 2 in.
Yeah.
And it sounds ominous. I don't know that they could possibly be busted this fast.
No, this whole thing, I think this scene, I get what they were trying. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. Anyway, go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So the guy comes over, he apologizes to Chappie, says, I'm sorry, your training order came in late last night. We got your name though. We got you all squared away. Chappie's like, what are you talking about? Like taking these 2 in. And the guy says, oh, no. We just mean these 2 fully loaded F-16s. They were set up overnight to fly to Spain, but now the computers canceled the order, which he throws a grin at Doug, and he's like, okay, those were the 2 jets that Milo has requested. Now he suggests that Chappie better get off the ground quick before the computer cancels your plane out. He's like, the computer's acting squirrely today.
That whole thing confused me. Like,
I think, yeah.
Like, okay, so what did Milo do? He like created a fake requisition for 2 planes to go to Spain.
Right, fully loaded up. Just to show that it could be done, I guess.
Then cancel that order.
I don't know if he canceled it or if the computer purged it out and like recognized that it wasn't. I don't know what happened exactly.
Yeah.
But I think it proved to Chappie what he needed to know, which was that
like Milo
could get these 2 planes on the runway.
Right. Milo was the GOAT. We already knew that Milo was the GOAT.
I'm curious how it is that Milo is setting this shit up. Like, is it from Dad's computer at home, or is he sneaking back into the base?
I have no idea.
I don't know, but they climb in the cockpit of the plane. Doug straps this little tape deck on his leg.
As always.
Pops in a tape. They're cleared for takeoff. Doug makes a joke about like not knowing where the throttle is on the plane. He taxis the plane, though. He fakes a sort of deeper voice of the radio to the guy in the tower, gets airborne. Doug asks Chappie what do you want to see? Chappie says, let's see what you got. So Doug's like, you sure you're up for it? He cranks that music up. Eyes of the World, the song by Eric Martin, an unknown artist to me, but the song was sweet.
Yeah.
I was into it. So Doug does some wild aerial stunts, which seems to impress Chappie. Doug has this like steady diet of smart ass comments that's getting under Chappie's skin. For the second time, like for 2 times in the span of a minute, Chappie tells him, I'm starting not to like you. Whatever. Like, you really wanted to double down on that line twice
really
in 1 minute?
Yeah.
So Chappie now instructs him to fly over to the target range and hit these vertical targets. And I'm like, could these type of targets possibly be how this shit is done in the real world?
Not a chance.
Like a huge, 100-foot by 100-foot thing that some poor bastards have had to set up, like in the middle, of a desert landscape.
And the other thing too is that since this requisition from these planes came in late last night, heading to Spain, and then all of a sudden now we've got flight plans for a training mission. You've got some chump privates or like reservemen like out setting up these targets in the middle of the desert, probably like 4 a.m. Like, what is going on with any of this? Yeah.
I never really had thought about it, but now I feel like 40 years later, all these weapons nowadays have to be so smart. Like, all a pilot's really doing is pressing a button. Right, and the missile does the rest.
Every single one of those explosions in this whole sequence is like, that was $2 million. That was $2 million.
Right. Would they really ever train with live bombs and live missiles?
Unbelievable.
It's kind of crazy. Maybe they did. I don't know. But Chappie warns Doug, that this is not like the simulator. You're going to take some getting used to. Then Chappie yells at him to cut that music off, which Doug does. Now, Doug fires and he misses the target just really badly. Chappie tells him, shake it off, circle around, drop a bomb on this other target here. Doug does that. He misses badly again. Chappie tells him, like, oh, we can't run the mission if you're shooting like this. Chappie tells him, take the plane back to base. We're going to have to reevaluate things. Doug has one of the great lines from the movie, like, damn it, Chappie, I'm doing it my way. Then cranks up his mediocre music, It was always a hilarious moment to me, but suddenly Doug can't miss. He's hitting every fucking target. Chappie can't believe it either. Doug's like flying, like he's doing this vertical flying straight up. So Doug's like, are we going or not? And Chappie's like, I don't know. We still need to talk about it. And Doug starts doing the crazy spirals. And Chappie's like, okay, we're going. Doug's fired up, whooping about it. Chappie tells him, like, round up all the Eagles. We got to talk about some shit. So back at Chappie's garage, the Eagles are bustling around making the last minute preps. Got the Tina Turner bumping, Proud Mary. Milo goes over these navigation and fuel economy shit with Chappie. Chappie's like, when we get back, you and I are going to have to go into business together.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's like, because like, it wasn't like, well, did you consider the wind like resistance or something?
Like,
it's like, fuck yeah, I did. And he brings up another chart and Chappie's like, son?
So I get the impression, I feel like Milo is probably younger than the other main Eagles.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't at the dance or anything like that.
Right.
But he's the type of dude who's like going to wind up being the head of the CIA.
Oh yeah, there's no question.
You know what I mean?
This motherfucker is not going to kill a motherfucker, but he's going to order motherfuckers to kill motherfuckers.
The Chappie he's marveling at how organized and proficient all these kids are. Now later on, Chappie's coaching Doug and Reggie and Tony on dogfighting tactics, which I didn't get the idea that Reggie and Tony had aspirations of like being in the Air Force or being fighter pilots or anything like that. But he gives Reggie a swat on the wrist with like his yardstick or whatever because Reggie's cutting up in there. Later on, Chappie is showing them a demonstration of what aerial refueling is like.
Which is really relevant because, okay, this was a moment where I'm like, all right, movie, I'll give you this. Because they're in America, and we've established at this point that the conflict has occurred somewhere in the Eastern Mediterranean. I'm like, how the fuck are they going to get over there? Like, this is a world-spanning mission. How are they going to get over there? So when the movie is making the effort to explain how aerial refueling works, I'm like, oh, okay, movie, you've thought about this.
Because they could have been lazy and just like, they take off and then cut to they were getting there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah,
right.
No, it's kind of cool, right? So he's giving them a demonstration. He's telling Doug, you got to speak with a deep voice on the radio to hide the fact that you're a kid. And Doug's like, does it, like tries to, a Chappie's like, no, you got to do it deep like Slappy's voice. And then Doug does a pretty decent Chino Fats Williams impression.
Yeah.
Cracks everyone up, including all these kids who presumably have no idea who Slappy is, but they still think it's hilarious, right? It's another comedy moment later on when they're looking at the model of like the bad guy complex.
Right.
He's like, that joke was low hanging fruit to be sure. He's like,
that's
move that tower. And he's like, this. And he's like, no, that's my lunchbox or whatever.
I was like, oh, movie.
So then later on, still the Eagles are posing for a group picture, and Chappie comes walking in like full dress uniform. He does this final sort of all systems go type of run through to verify everything's ready to go. There's more great work from Louis Gossett Jr. To be honest in this scene. But yeah,
but I mean, I will be honest. It took me out a little bit. Like Chappie took the time to get dressed up in his dress blues to address a bunch of teenagers to run a wildly illegal mission on both like international.
Right? Are you like
and
disgracing that
grounds.
uniform? By
Right?
doing
Exactly.
this?
Aren't you like sort of disgracing this uniform right now? Yeah, exactly.
But basically,
But it is a great moment though.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
So we see that the planes are ready, they're standing by, the flight plans are filed, the refuels are all organized, verified. There's no change in the detention status of Doug's dad. It's like all systems go. Chappie gives the Eagles just like heaps praise on him. Says you've done great work. I want to shake each of your hands. He's like, I've never had a finer planning staff ever.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good, man.
Yeah.
He's giving those vibes of like the down to earth decency. Like it was reminding me of Keith David and They Live, where it's just like this is just like a real fucking like,
salt of the earth
motherfucker. Yeah, man. I love that.
Yeah.
But we blew through that chapter.
It went good.
of
Yeah,
the movie.
it was really clipping, right?
Because
Like,
now we're gonna sort of move into the final act of the movie,
Yeah,
the
that was the
mission
end of Act Two.
itself.
I mean, we're moving
it's a
in-
long third act.
It
for
is
sure.
a long third act, short third act. I mean, short second act, long third act. But it's worth it though. The third act is where it really shines.
You love that. Okay, cool, man. Thanks everybody for checking us out. Be sure you check us out on social media as well. You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed for long. That's what, as John always used to say. I love that. But yeah, we love you for listening. Thanks. We'll be back next week with a whole lot more Iron Eagle to talk about.
Hard 4 coming up. Stay safe, everybody.
We'll be back.